going on, mother truckers? Welcome to the Theasianmaishow. So today we're going to tackle what's the best way for you to get your CDL. Okay, so there are so many ways to get your CDL, and most of it involve going to trucking school. But before we could find out what trucking school is best, we need to figure out your situation and what's best to meet your needs so that you can get your CDL and start your career in trucking. So let's get into this video. Alright, mother truckers, if you want the fastest and cheapest way to get your CDL, basically what you want to do is you want to go to your local DMV, go take all the tests, including your hazmat, get all your endorsements. Then after that, you have to take your road test. Most states, you can't take your road test until you have your CDL permit for a certain amount of time. So check with your local DMV how long you have to hold that permit for. And then after that, take the road test. Now, most of you are asking me, where the heck do I get a truck? Well, most truck schools, they actually have refresher courses, or they rent out trucks to you, and they could help you. And basically, in this refresher course for $600 to $800 or what have you, they'll train you for 3 or 4 days. And after that, that's including renting the truck, and you take your test and you pass. That's the fastest way and the cheapest way to get your CDL. Now, the drawbacks of doing it that way, there's a lot of companies that won't work with you or won't hire you if you actually didn't go to a truck school. So those are two different things. If you're just trying to get your CDL, maybe your dad owns a trucking company or you already have a hookup somewhere and you just got to get that CDL, I'm telling you right now, just go to the local DMV, get your permit, get all your endorsements, hold it for a certain amount of time, go rent a truck or borrow a truck, and then go take your test, pass it, and boom, you're good. So that would be the fastest way. All right? All right, mother truckers. So I would not pick that method as far as the way I would do it. Most of us out there aren't going to want to go out and just get their permit and take a refresher course. So at that point, you're going to have to go to a truck school. Now, there are different ways to go to a truck school. The number one question I get asked all the time is, what's the best mega carrier that can pay for my truck school? Now, the Swifts, the CR Englands, the Knights, the CRSTs, the U Express, the Primes, out of all these mega carriers, I actually hear decent things about Prime. So if you're thinking about having a company pay for your school, look into Prime. I'm not sponsored by them, but I do have friends that work for them that have gone through their program, and they're still working for them to this day. That means something, because most of these mega carriers have a huge turnover after a year. So Prime could be better of the worst, per se. Now, as long as you know what you're getting into, you're good. Just know that whatever mega carrier, life isn't free. Nothing is free. They might pay for your school, but you're going to have to sign a life contract basically saying that you're going to work for them for at least 1 to 2 years. Most of the time, it's a 1-year contract. So just know that. Okay? Now, if you don't follow through with the contract and work for them for a year, you are going to have to pay back for that school. That's just the way it works. So as long as you know what you're getting into, you're good. Now, as far as truck schools go, there's 3 types of truck schools. All right? There's licensed truck schools, there's certified truck schools, and there's accredited truck schools. Right? Truck schools can cost from $3,000 to $10,000. And I'm sure you guessed it, on the cheaper route, licensed schools would be $3,000. Certified schools would be anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000, and accredited schools would be $10,000. Now, why the difference in price? Let's break it down and go through this. A licensed school is basically one that has the minimum requirements to teach you what you need to know to pass the test, right? I went to a licensed school, all right? And basically, most licensed schools are like these mom and pop schools. I think I paid like $3,400 for my truck school, but I'll tell you this, I didn't feel prepared, right? They only had one truck. There was a lot of students. They were just trying to get by. And honestly, most of the students that went to the DMV failed, but I passed. And the reason why was because I had a little experience because my uncle was a trucker, and all I needed was seat time. So if you're a certain person that does well learning on their own, because that's how you're going to feel when going to a licensed school. Because remember, they're just teaching the minimum requirement. Then that school could be good for you, and it'll be a cheaper route. You get what you pay for. Now, what's a certified school? A certified school is basically one that they get a third-party company to come out to triple check that their school is up to code, up to regulations. They're teaching you all the things that you need to know so that you can pass this test. And most of the time at these certified schools, at the end of your training, you're going to have to go through their test to make sure that you can pass their road test, their backup test, and their inspection test, pre-trip test. And if they feel that you're ready, then you go to the truck road DMV test, and it's a lot easier. So that school's a little bit more expensive, but I'll tell you what, it might be worth it because there's a lot of people out there that feel that they need more training. And I'm not going to say that you need to feel like you need someone to hold your hand, but trucking is something that's new to everybody that jumps into it. So if you know nothing about trucking, sometimes if you go off of the cheap price, you might be getting a licensed truck school and they're not teaching you everything you need to know. A certified school, they're going to get you where you need to be and get you comfortable, but it's going to cost a little bit more money. It's going to be $5,000 to $7,000. I'm telling you that. Now, what is an accredited school? Basically, an accredited school is very expensive. It could cost upwards to $9,000 to $10,000, right? And it's basically like a certified school, but the difference is the person that checks and backs up the school is the Department of Education. So the Department of Education makes sure that this truck school is up to code, teaching you everything you need to know so that you can get out there and be successful. Now, from my personal experience, I'm telling you, most of you should go to a certified school, right? And basically, they're going to teach you what you want to know, and you're going to be good. The only reason you would want to go to a accredited school that costs $10,000 that's backed by the Department of Education and all this junk is because, did you know, and I've said this before, that you can get free truck schooling and basically check out your local unemployment. If you've been unemployed, if you don't make a certain amount of money, there's programs for people to go to truck school, right? And if you want to go to a community college where there's actually truck schooling there, there's ways to apply for like the FAFSA and all those basically government assistance. But when you're applying for these government assistance, state assistance to get free truck school, they're going to want you to go to an accredited school. So if you're applying to go and get free truck school, but they need you to go to these accredited schools, that's the only reason I can see why you would go to one of these schools that cost $10,000. Because the truth about it is, at the end of all this, if you get your CDLs, you go to a truck school, you pass the DMV, you have your CDL in your hand, there's going to be a company out there that's going to hire you because there is a truck shortage. There's always been a truck shortage. You know, finding someone that wants to live the lifestyle as a truck driver is very hard to find, right? So, those are three options, right, as far as truck schools go. And of course, there's a lot of methods of getting your CDL. You could just go out there, get your permit, pass that bad boy, right, and then go take a refresher course, get your CDL. You could go out there, go to any of these truck schools, licensed, certified, or accredited, go out, pass your CDL or the DMV test, road test, and get your CDL. Basically, when you get your CDL, there's going to be a company out there. Of course, you know, more money you pay is basically should give you more value and more training. That's not always the case, but that's what it should be. And of course, if you want to go the route of a company paying for you, just make sure you know what you're getting into. Know how long of a contract you're going to have to sign. And of course, I'm not sponsored by Prime or anything like that. But I have friends that have gone through that program and said, you know what? It's a decent program and they're still working for that company to this day. So that's something else to look into. The biggest power tip I could give you is whatever truck school that you pick, it doesn't matter. It takes about 7 weeks to complete. Now, if you go to the DMV first and get your permit, that can knock off some time and you might be at the truck school for just 5 weeks. The reason why is no truck school is going to put you in a truck to get you that seat time experience until you have your permit. So if you go and get your permit first, you're going to be in the truck school less, and you're going to save some money because you're not going to have to go through their educational program to get your permit. That makes sense, right? So overall, hopefully this helps. There is one thing I do want to bring up. I have a friend that works for Western Express. He is a trainer for Western Express, and he did say that for the last year, most of the people he's been training just got out of prison. So if you're somebody that has a felony, is a convicted felon, and you want to get into trucking, it might not be too late for you. And there are companies out there like Western Express that will hire you. I'm here just to give you options. I want everybody to be able to provide for their family. I don't care what you did in the past. The past is the past. But if you want to provide for your family and you want to do what it takes, trucking can be a good career, but you have to get your CDL first before you can do that. So there's a lot of ways to get it, but it's good to know your options. I'll see you guys back on Friday. Hopefully this video helps some of you, and hopefully it answers some questions for you, because trucking school can be expensive, and I just want you to pick the right route, because I went through a license school and I didn't get the training I need, and I barely passed, right? I will say this though, if you get your CDL but you feel lost still, don't worry. You're going to go with the company. They're going to have a trainer. It's good to find a good trainer. That's like a big power tip right there. And they're going to teach you what you really need to know. Because when you're out in the real world, I'm telling you this, life is going to hit you, and you're going to get hands-on experience. And it's mostly about living the lifestyle. If you can't take that, then you'll quit trucking. But if you're afraid that you don't have the experience you need, I'm here to tell you, after 8 years, I still don't have all the experience I need. I'm still learning every day, and it takes a while to get comfortable, but we all start somewhere. I'll see you guys on Friday. Peace out. Thanks a lot, mother truckers.